And here we are again. 2 years in a row, can you believe it? The dictionary's been used up. There's no superlatives left. And there's nothing to read, and anyway, you know. Yeah.
You guessed it, Keith Richards there in January of 1987 when he, along with a couple other people, gave the acceptance speech on behalf of one of the most iconic figures in American music in the 20th century, Aretha Franklin, the first female inductee into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Let's talk about it. On this day, January 3rd, 1987, 39 years ago, I just can't believe that. I was starting my second year in college. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio announced that it would be inducting its first female honoree, soul icon Aretha Franklin. And as a Hall of Fame was established the year prior, Franklin was part of the second wave of inductees alongside Bo Diddley, Marvin Gaye, Carl Perkins, Muddy Waters, and B.B. King. Now, don't get me wrong, Aretha Franklin's induction was significantly huge, but as time would tell, an only small step in an inclusive direction, one that thankfully took place that early within the history of the Rock and Roll Academy. Franklin was the only woman in her inductee class, a trend that would continue for years to come, but it was a moment in pop history that was exciting for women, but inevitably came with a follow-up thought. I mean, really? Just one woman for every 10 to 15 men? And somehow the acceptance speeches made on Franklin's behalf highlighted this strange paradoxical movement of progress. The soul icon didn't attend her induction ceremony in late January 1987, with the most accepted theory being her fear of flying. It was well known, even though she technically didn't have to fly to New York for the ceremonies. Record executive Clive Davis, who also spoke on her behalf as well, made kind of a joke about her pink Cadillac stalling out on the freeway of love on the way to New York during his portion of Aretha Franklin's acceptance speech. Now, as I showed you at the beginning of this broadcast, Rolling Stone member Keith Richards was the first to speak on behalf of Aretha Franklin, and it got off to a rocky start. That's kind of an understatement. He would go on to say, the dictionary's been used up. There's no superlatives left, and there's nothing to read anyway. He began with a laugh. What can I say about Aretha? You're in, baby. My turn next. He kind of picked up at that time a kind of divisive reaction by the audience, and making a face, he added, oh, God forbid. Come on, a little levity doesn't go down bad, right? Check it out.
The dictionary's been used up. There's no superlatives left. And there's nothing to read, and anyway, you know. Yeah. Understand me, right? Hey, what can I say about Aretha? I mean, you're in, baby. Hey, my turn next, maybe. Oh, God forbid. Come on, a little levity. It doesn't go down bad, right? Anyway, on behalf of Aretha Franklin, there will be the two CCs, Cecil, her brother, and Clive, who runs her record company, right?
Now, eventually, he handed off the mic to record executive Clive Davis, who said some words on behalf of Aretha Franklin. Through Davis, Aretha Franklin thanked the Hall of Fame and apologized for not being there. She thanked her record label and the, quote, esteemed committee for saying how proud she was to accept the induction. Now, after Davis, Franklin's older brother, the Reverend Cecil Franklin, came up and spoke a few words. It doesn't take long to realize that his speech was more evocative of Richard's comments than Davis's, but it was still a heartfelt tribute to his sister. Cecil said that night, quote, was the greatest night of them all because tonight Aretha has been written into history.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I first of all say that it is indeed a privilege, a pleasure, and an extreme honor to be here to accept this award on behalf of my little sister, thank you very much, my little sister, Aretha. And before I go any further, let me first acknowledge the president of my record company, Mr. Clive Davis, the president of our springboard, Mr. Ahmed Erdogan, and last but not least, certainly, Mr. Jerry Wexler. Can we give Mr. Jerry Wexler a hand? Thank you. Now, many accolades have been paid, many tributes have been given, many awards have been received, and certainly we are appreciative of them all. However, we feel that tonight is the greatest night in the night of Miss Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul, Soul Sister #1, Lady Soul, whatever you'd like to call her. We feel that this is the greatest night of them all because tonight Aretha has been written into history. You, the board of directors, Ahmed, his colleagues, and the rest of the committee have written Aretha into history. Let's go. Ladies, can I hear from the ladies?
After the speech, Davis grabbed the podium mic and asked for cheers from the ladies, calling her the Queen of Soul in his final remarks. Respect played off in the distance as the men accepted the induction on behalf of Aretha Franklin. And to be fair, one can't necessarily blame the attendees of the Hall of Fame ceremony for celebrating, if that's the reason for the somewhat shaky, slurred comments from Richards and Franklin. Now, nevertheless, the entire 5 minutes of that speech by those three characters feels like a strangely chaotic display of irreverent masculinity for a moment that should have been celebrating the achievements of women in music history. Yes, I'm sure they meant well, but when you look back on this almost 40 years later, it was a bittersweet moment in an episode in music history that probably could have been handled a little bit better, but we'll still take it because of the gravity of the progression of music and its willingness to accept one of its biggest and most influential artists up to that point. Sure, 2020 is hindsight, but looking at the big picture, I think it all should be taken in the context of the Hall of Fame getting it right, even though technically I think they could have inducted her the year earlier at the outset. Either way, I'll take it. Aretha, you are and will always be missed.